Hey guys, it's me Doshi. Y'all get to see my lovely face on today's video. I was gonna dress up and then I was like, screw it. I mean, come as you are, right? Sweatpants and a beautiful top, so let's go. I wanted to talk to y'all today about something that I struggle with, that I've been struggling with for a long time, and that is depression. I'm not sure, well actually no, I am sure. A few of you have noticed that I go on these days where I'm active as heck on social media. I'm posting consistently, I'm reaching out to people, and then I just go cold turkey and I just disappear. That is a contributing factor of depression. As of late, I've been battling with depression more than normal. Well, more than normal for me. And, I am grateful that my friends pay attention to the stuff because they actually reach out to me and they're like, hey Dosh, you okay? I noticed you're not active on social media. And that's such a blessing that friends can tell when I'm withdrawn, especially because I'm an extrovert. I've always said if an extrovert goes into an introverted stage, that's typically not healthy for them. It's typically a sign of depression. I can tell you, however, that what I've tried to do, especially a lot recently, is as I'm struggling with depression and comprehension with my circumstances, I try my best to lean on God. Usually when I go through a depression cycle, I get off social media immediately. That's the first thing that I get away from. Another thing that I do is I'm listening to my word more. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm engaging in worship, and I'm just trying to have that one-on-one time with me and the Lord. Because for me, when I go through depression, I feel like I'm stepping out of His goodness and out of His grace and out of His peace. And though my circumstances has not necessarily changed, and the reason why I'm so depressed is because I'm weighed down by all the things that are going on in my life, I'm able to reconnect with God on a different level than I had been before slipping into depression, to where I know that He's going to pull me through it. I'm grateful that I have a therapist that I see once a week. She helps me a lot. She's also a woman of God, and she has those academic credentials. So that helps me as well. So first I want to talk about what depression looks like for me, because depression might look different for everybody else. For me, when I battle through depression, one of the telltale signs is that I don't take a bath or I don't shower. It's kind of embarrassing to admit, but it's the truth. When I've gone 2 to 3 days without showering, that's when I know I'm in a full-blown depressive episode. It's so crazy because outside of my depression, I take my showers like that. But that's not necessarily the case when I'm battling with depression. 1 day turns into 2 days, turns into 3, and then I've realized that I've ate up almost all the house, and I don't want to do anything. Another telltale sign for me with depression, like I just mentioned, is that I overeat. For some people, when they go through depression, they don't eat, they lose weight. Homegirl, she like to eat. And for me, eating is a comfort. I remember when I first started losing weight, my friend was like, I can tell you're going through depression. I was like, why do you think that? And she's like, because you're losing weight. I was like, girl, you don't know me, okay? Because let me tell you something, depression, gain weight, which is why I've been overweight for an extensive, long period of time in my marriage. But that's neither here nor there. Excuse me. So that's a telltale sign for me, overeating. Another telltale sign for me when I go through depression is where I'm just not myself. Like I am genuinely an optimistic, chipper, charismatic personality. And when I've drawn back and I've taken myself into the serious and critical person who's not happy, that is definitely a sign of depression for me. Everybody's different. So the reason why I want to talk about it is because I think I've said this earlier, but I know y'all see me so active on social media and then I just disappear and you're like, what the heck is going on? Most likely I'm dealing with depression. It's not something that I want to define me, or it's not something that I want for it to be a daily part of my life, but I have cycles and I have seasons where it is real for me. So if you all ever see me push back or you see me disappear, it's okay to check up on a sister. And I ain't even gonna lie, sometimes I don't respond. Not because I don't want you to worry about me, but I don't want to talk. I literally just want to be alone with God and get to a place of understanding and acceptance. And my counselor is listening to this, she'd probably be laughing, because one thing she has talked to me about heavily over the last few weeks is acceptance, and how I struggle to accept my reality. And you know, I used to always say, being an optimistic person, man, that's a blessing. I'm like, I'm optimistic. What's the downside of being optimistic? At least it's better than being negative, or better than being a Debbie Downer. Well, guess what? The opposite side of being an optimist is not being realistic. It's not really accepting things. That's where I think all my my anxiety and my depression has been wrapped in me not accepting my circumstances, me not accepting what things actually are, and me wanting to do something about it in order to change. For y'all who've been rocking with me for years, and y'all saw how I reacted with my pregnancy losses, one of the things I struggled with the most was the fact that I lost my babies and I wasn't able to do anything to stop the process. I mean, it didn't matter if I was on my knees begging, crying out to the Lord, praying, interceding, fasting. It didn't do anything. It didn't change the outcome. I didn't realize until the age of almost 30 that I have an acceptance problem. And what I'm doing in this season is, honestly and genuinely, I am trying to accept my life for what it is, and pray and have hope and optimism for the future that things will change, but also that to be okay and content if things never change. What does that look for me? I mean, what does that look like for me? More importantly, what does that look like for me in my relationship with the Lord? I would like to say that my relationship with the Lord has never been contingent on what he does and doesn't do for me. But I can say as of late, I've been feeling a little disappointed in that department. And I'm just being honest. And it's not because he's not good, because he is, but simply because my expectations have not been met. But the other side of my expectations not being met is for me to realize that though I felt let down, the craziest thing, he still makes this work for my good. Like, there's so many times in my life where I was like, God, I just don't understand why I'm going through this. Why is this happening to me? And so on and so forth. And how could, you know, like, for some reason I feel like I'm just being honest, this is Transparency Tuesday talks, right? For some reason I feel like if I serve the Lord that I'm going to get like these abundance of blessings and everything going to go right in my favor. I don't know what doctrine that is, because that's not necessarily the case, but that's just honestly where I get at sometimes. Like, God, do you know what? And that's honestly self-righteous. But anyways, neither here nor there. But what I have come to realize, and I'm constantly learning this reality. Though it doesn't make sense to me now, and though things haven't made sense to me in my past, when things came full circle, it made the complete most sense, and I just looked like a complete dummy in my doubt and my questioning. And, you know, one thing my friend told me when I was in Hawaii, she's like, I don't think God is offended by your questions. And that was actually a hard acceptance to get, especially growing up in the Black church. You don't question God. God already knows the questions before you ask them. So just knowing that in my questioning, even if I don't get my answer right away, that it will all make sense. I say this almost every talk that I have, that if it don't make sense today, it'll make sense tomorrow. It'll make sense when I step into eternity. So I say all that to say, if you are like me, and many of you are, because many of you reach out to me every time I do these talks, which I'm very grateful for, because you feel like you're not in the struggle by yourself. But if you're like me and you're finding yourself battling with depression, and you feel like your back is up against the wall, and you feel as though you're having a hard time accepting your reality, and you're having a hard time processing your reality, and you're having a hard time in accepting the fact that things are the way that they are, and in some ways they're probably gonna get worse, I would strongly encourage you to take a step back, deactivate all your social media, get into that alone time with God, really seek his presence and pray for overwhelming peace, because I cannot mentally get back on track and do what I need to do if I am not in complete perfect alignment with God. I think part of my suffering actually ends up taking place because I have gotten so out of my element in my time with him that I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't recognize myself. I don't recognize and understand the things that are going on that have led me to where I am. So, again, if you find yourself struggling with depression, it's okay to isolate yourself for a season. Just make sure that isolation is constructive. Because I'm telling you, once I get to that point where I feel peace and I understand and I have hit acceptance, I'm back like ain't nothing ever happened. It honestly is like a roller coaster, which is why you all are receiving this Tuesday talk right now, and y'all haven't received one in like 2 weeks. Because I'm back in alignment of where I need to be mentally, spiritually. Can't say physically because homegirl been eating nothing but snacks. It's okay because I am a snack. I'm just kidding. I mean, I am, but all jokes aside. And I'm seeing like stuff like this. Like, I'm so happy I can be joking and I can be comedic because that's who I am at my core. So I'm grateful for the goofiness because Doshi Dior Holman was not this person a day ago. For a whole week, she was locked in her bed. She was crying, praying, asking God, why can't I let go of things? Why can't I accept things? Why can't I move forward with my life in certain aspects? And why do I keep on finding myself back at the place that you just took me from? And what it all boils down to is acceptance. So as I'm going through my struggle season and I'm delivering these Tuesday talks and I'm updating you all on my personal life, I would really appreciate if you all would pray for me during this season. Pray for my acceptance. Pray that God continues to surround me with godly people, and that God continues to take care of me and my family as he always has. And one scripture that just ran across my mind is to lean not on my own understanding, but in every way acknowledge God. So I don't understand, but I'm going to acknowledge him for who he is and what he's done for me and the things he haven't done for me for my safety and my protection, because this little feeble mind can't comprehend all the things that are going around in her little head. Until next time, guys, talk to you soon.